What's up everybody? Welcome into today's video. In this video today, you're going to see how a quilt store is built. From very beginning ideas to the final store. As you can see, we're standing at our store here in Las Vegas. We have our sign behind us and we're getting ready to move. We're gonna reminisce today about the things that we've done here in this store and the best things to come in the next store. Join with us.
So guys, 6 years ago, it was March 16th when we opened up the storefront. And this whole section behind us wasn't there. We didn't know that we were gonna need more space. We actually had just random ideas of maybe we could put like a little cafe in here, maybe do soup shop. There's a lot of ideas here, but we needed more and more space. So all of this was built on after, but we'll come show you guys what we got here.
So it's funny now talking about, you know, how we need more space, and like I said earlier, each one of the things we've done in here was to get more space. But originally, this building's almost 10,000 square feet. Originally when we walked in here, it was like, holy smokes, how are we gonna fill every single one of these areas with fabric and everything else, and machines?
And when we started, we couldn't fill it, you know, but then all of a sudden the ball started rolling a little bit, and then it was like, oh shoots, we need space, we need space, we need space. Yeah. So think of this more like a clothes rack, okay? All of these panels here, absolutely lovely. These came out, this was probably after a year and a half in business, 2 years in business, somewhere around there, that we decided to make our panels where you could open them up, see them, and put them on a rack there. And everyone has a label which corresponds to our shelving units all the way around. These are just little ideas that we came up with that definitely serve the space. In our new location, we'll still continue using this because it's worked so well.
So originally when we opened up, our checkout area was right up here, like in an L-shaped. And then from there, it wasn't enough. There weren't enough checkout stations. We came over to this kind of half circle U-shaped. So we have 3 different tills on here. That was another one of the changes that was a big, you know, we had to move shelving units. These shelves right here, that used to be something different. I can't even remember what was there. We had a different display there. We ended up needing more shelves.
It might have been just fabric.
Put more shelves there. All for more space.
Well, and not only that, things change and things evolve, okay? So like that up there was the original Sew Yeah OG logo. From there we moved to this shirt right here, which is a little teeny sewing machine on it, and then it evolved to the shirts that you see today. So even our logo and our brands changed over the last 6 years, and this is where we are probably gotta sit with the brand. We really like the imagery of it.
Now we have socks.
And now we have socks. And hats and other things with the brand. So don't be afraid if your logo didn't come out right. Move on.
Or your embroidery project, or your quilt, or whatever it is.
Just
keep
move
going.
on. It's good. It's all good. Another big change that happened as we were going on through time here is we didn't have very much thread. We didn't have very many notions. We were pretty much strictly fabric and sewing machines. However, as you've seen our displays of thread, we have tons and tons of thread now. And one of the other things is our notion wall. You have to realize that there's a gadget for about everything, and it helps so much to have the proper tools for your project. So a big thing that's changing from this store to our new location is just even more notions and gadgets. That way we can help with all different kinds of projects.
Obviously, looking at us, we're probably not your average sewers or quilters. We always say that our customers are the ones that helped us learn how to sew, because somebody brings in a project that's something we've never seen before, and we learn from our customers. The same thing kind of happened here in the store. A customer would walk in and say, hey, you know what, it'd be really cool if blank. Right. And then, or it'd be really cool if you guys could do this. There's lots of ones that a customer comes in and says, you know what, I think you guys could benefit from this. And a new idea is born of like, wow, that's a really great idea, and we kind of take it and run with it.
Not only that, we came into this industry pretty green, right? We didn't know as much as we probably should have when we started. For instance, we had a customer come in, this was like day 3, 4, 5 opening. She said, where are the fat quarters? At this moment, we had no idea what a fat quarter was. And we said, well, we probably have them tell us what that is. She says, half a yard, cut on the fold. Like, great. So I learned what a fat quarter is that day. And us being just who we are, we said, don't worry about it. Go pick out any bolts off of our shelves. We'll cut you some fat quarters. And we still do that today because that's what the customers like to see and like to have.
So another one of the things that was a customer suggestion is this big design board over here. This is our classroom. When we originally had the classroom, we set it up how we thought people were going to like it, our customers were going to like it, and then realized that there was nowhere for them to put their samples up on the wall or their blocks, whatever they were working on. Didn't know that was needed, and a customer came in and said, we really need a design board. I said, again, well, you know, what's that? How can we do that? And we ended up building that one there, and just a simple design board goes a long way in a classroom. And again, new store, definitely going to have a lot of those on the walls.
Well, not only that, it's just like, we did that, it was great for the space. We've outgrown the space, so bigger, better design boards, bigger, better. You just natural.
LED design board, just click a button and your quilt pops up on there. Like, oh yeah, that's how it's gonna look.
Right.
So this section right here used to be shelving units across here, and behind this wall there was like a data room. This used to be an office building, and they had
some strange
data
door.
rooms.
Remember,
there was like a random door right
here
here that we ended up just covering with shelving units, because we thought, hey, we're never going to use that space. So middle of the night one night, we didn't have the space. We had long arms coming in. We needed to get more space. So we ended up building this like Viz Queen plastic wall here so we could get into this room without it causing any dust or disturbance. So come into this room here, we got in here and we started building more space. Yeah, you can see our nice transition here in our flooring that we ended up putting in. But back here, this one room here has its own air conditioning unit because it was a data room and they had a bunch of servers in here they had to keep cool. So we unbolted all the server racks that were still here. It was just kind of a storage area. Yeah. Originally, this was our tech area, storage area, and we kind of just kept building. We put this wall in here where we have our long arms. So you have like your extra wide 108 backings and you have your long arms all in the same spot. So kind of a cool addition to the store.
Well, and that's something that you build on too. Like, you don't normally start a quilt store and then say I'm doing long arm services. Normally you start long arming and then you end up with a quilt store, store, then go to long arming. So this is just one of those additions we had to do.
We set up 2 long arms in here. We actually put up to disrupt the sound. Oh, that's another one of the things that we found out after we built this is on the other side of this is our classroom. And we put these in here. We're super stoked. Put the wall here, and customers came out of the classroom and they said, hey, could you guys stop the noise? I'm like, what are you talking about? We walked into the classroom, these machines running in here, you could hear them in the classroom, could barely talk in there because it like vibrated through the wall. It's like a hollow wall, I guess. We didn't know that. So we ended up putting this soundboard on here to make it deaden the sound a little bit. Put in a couple big mats to stop the vibrations, and put 2 machines in here.
This is one that is for the new store that we didn't know coming to this store. If you look above us, we have amazing lights in here. We have essentially a light every 4 panels, which is more than national standard. But right here, you can see the shadows casting onto the fabrics. In our new building, we've decided to put in all brand new LED daylight lights, and a ton of them. Quilt stores need way more light than what you think, unless you have access to natural light, but most of us don't. So LED lights, lots of light, as much as you can put in your building, it helps a ton.
Here we are in our cell room. This room has actually gone through a couple different transitions. You can see this wall right here doesn't match the other 3. It's got this paneling on it. That is because this wall, it was pre-existing, but then when we came in and started remodeling the space, we took it out and made this one big room with currently the kids' room next door. But then we found out, hey, that's way too much space actually for all this kids and juvenile fabric. So we had to put the wall back in. So that kind of just shows, hey, you don't necessarily know what's gonna be the best, and that will change over time. You do have to adapt and just roll with it.
Yeah, we actually did it like twice. Yeah. 2 different times, putting walls up and taking them down in this same room.
Well, one thing about this cell room in particular, this is something that quilt shops don't really talk about. Find yourself a mentor, someone that can help with this kind of stuff. We actually hired in a guy named Jim Salinas. He's a phenomenal fabric guru. He no longer does consulting or anything like that, but he's just a phenomenal fabric guy. He gave us ideas for the cell room. He helped lay out the store, but this was years later.
It was like 2 or 3 years into having the store. We said, hey, somebody's got to be able to tell us a little more about what we're doing. Then we're just kind of running with it, trying to do the best we can. And he definitely helped a ton. Cell room particularly was one of the ones that he helped influence. That hey, this is what you should do in your cell room. This will help with being able to get people the fabrics they want and also get them a good deal. So
cool. It was like the biggest compliment / not compliment is he walks through our entire store, which this guy just knows his stuff, right? Walks through our entire store and he says, I only see 3 things wrong with your store. I thought I had 1,000 things wrong, but I only have 3, so it was great time.
Another thing I want to show you guys here is this space right here. It's very bare right now because we just had a big floor model sale and things have kind of a lot of empty space.
I mean, just turn right there. It says sold right on that guy.
So we just did a big floor model sale, so 4 models were sold, but this is an area that in our new store, we want to design a much bigger area. When we originally started with the store, we had just fabrics, and then from there we went fabrics and sewing machines, and then we added in
A brand.
A brand. We started with Berninas, and then from there we went. You know, we have Berninas and Brothers and Genomis and Handy Quilters and Jukis,
furniture, Martellis.
Sure, exactly.
All that kind of
Kangaroo
stuff.
cabinets, arrow cabinets. This area in our new building is going to be much bigger because in order for someone to really sit down and see, obviously buying a machine is an investment. You want people to be able to sit down and sew on the machine and know they enjoy it before buying it, instead of, you know, just having a quick little, here's the machine, it's sitting on this cabinet real fast, and good luck. So we want people to be able to enjoy it and want to have the extra space because obviously as the store grows, the brands continue to be added on, and who knows what, maybe one day we'll have another sewing machine brand and we'll want more space for that. So the idea behind a new store obviously is to make it better, right? There could be dinosaurs. There could be no. The idea is to make it better.
A store.
Yeah, even redoing, even remodeling. The idea is to make it better, make it more user friendly, and provide more of what each one of our customers wants. Obviously every store starts out with kind of a floor plan of just this is what the shell of the store looks like, and a couple of things that we're going to do differently, I guess, that we've discussed is bigger machine area.
For sure.
Bigger classroom, more long arm space.
Yep, for sure.
Well, and
more warehouse space.
Well, and also we're gonna kind of lay things out, but not nail it down, so to speak, to where we can actually see, okay, do we need to push this area a little further this way or expand this area, and we'll have a little bit of room to adjust everything.
Literally, if you're walking through our store in the next 3 months, don't lean against the shelves, okay? Because that could be dangerous.
No, so this store is a vertical store. So if you look up, we have huge ceilings and all of our quilts are up and they look beautiful and all that kind of stuff. However, the problem with quilts like this is you can't touch them. You can't see them. You can't see the detail on it. You might look up there and see a bunch of little pieces, but actually it was just a panel. You know, so we are actually lowering our ceiling in our next location there a little bit. Still way higher than the average ceiling. However, it's just gonna be a little bit lower. That way things are closer to the customer, and kind of more of a display-based system. As you walk through our store, we don't have any displays. Like, there's no bed in here that has quilts on them. There's no antique sewing machine, you know, anything like that. We don't have displays here, so we're going to go into more of a display-based company. That way you get to see cool new things all the time.
New ideas. So that's the biggest thing is people come in and bring ideas to us of, hey, this is the quilt that I just finished. This is the bag I just finished. And unless somebody sees that, sometimes you can't have, I'm not a super creative person. I don't have the creative mind like Zach does. Zach's super creative. And if somebody brings something and I can see it, I'm like, oh wow, I could do that, or I could do something similar to that. And that's kind of where the ideas roll. And so in doing more displays, each customer that comes in is gonna say, hey, you know, I've never made a bag, but I really like that, and I could make that. Or I've never made that type of quilt, and I can make that.
I can make this as opposed to that thing up there looks pretty
exactly.
cool.
Yeah, that's another one of the changes.
Well, and two, we want to get more involved with the customer base as well, for sure. One thing I've thought of recently is like have a quilt of the month that was from somebody else. Like one of the long arm services, call them and say, hey, can we put your quilt on display? You know, and give credit to them.
New ideas.
And bring in those patterns and all that kind of stuff. It just brings new, fresh ideas that just aren't Sew Yeah's 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. So that's some of the things we're planning on doing in the store. Obviously, once we get the store and get the layout, everything, that's where the real planning, and we I just had it in my hand a minute ago, I don't know where I put it, but we have like the blue painter's tape. And literally, we've blue painters taped the floors, the ceilings, the walls of every new idea, saying, you know what, if we take this out, we add this here, let's measure that, okay, this will fit here. I assume there's gonna be a lot of new blue tape. We should invest in 3M before we open a new store, but a lot of blue tape in the new store.
Strategy, right? 3M tape.
3M tape.
We just became designers for Benartex. That's new, so we're gonna be able to put that up on the wall in the new store. That's gonna be cool, and have a little feature. We're gonna have a featured designer section.
It's gonna be you.
So it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have a really good time taking you guys on the journey to this next quilt store. Sew Yeah 2.0.
And honestly, we feel like it's a huge blessing because we've looked at 4 or 5 different locations, even put offers in on them.
Locations?
Yeah, probably more than that. Put offers in on them, and for one thing after the next, fell through, didn't work. too much money, not enough space, whatever the situation was, or just plain, it just fell through at the last minute. And we, as you guys know from our videos, we believe in God and we believe that He directs the things that happen in our lives. And so we really feel like the space that we've just got is the perfect space for what we want to do. And it's really one that everything has worked.
Prior to Quiltland.
Quiltland, right? Right? But it really is the perfect space, and it checks off the boxes of things we've all kind of brainstormed and says, hey, what do we really need in a new store? What do we want in a new store? And it's checked down to silly things that you wouldn't even think about that we want.
I've got this. Like, for instance, it's more space than what we currently need, but not excess space. So that's a great one there.
Right in the middle. So I guess the next portion of this video, whether it's part 2 of this video, is going to be where we are going from here. We're actually going to go, and let's actually just take them to it. Should we go?
Yeah, let's take you guys to the new location. You have to understand that the demo's been done. We put in floor and we painted.
Which you've seen some of this stuff on our social media.
Well, and guys, that's not rocket science. Break down walls, put in flooring, paint the walls, but you'll get to see everything from there on.